Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. My name is Sandra and on this channel we do all things budget related as it pertains to mine and my husband's paychecks. And in this episode we're gonna kind of look into how our budgeting tracking system has developed over the years. And I'm getting ready to start thinking about how I want to enter 2026. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. So I thought I'd put this out there and then you guys kind of give me some feedback about what you think about the things that I have done in the past. So let's go over them together. So you'll see here a couple of things that I jumped back and forth to between the past 2 years. And my consistency wasn't that great. I can tell you, I'm being absolutely honest. My consistency was not that great. But I am happy to say that I'm ready to kind of try to get my consistency going, because the more consistent you are, the easier it makes things. And I have learned that especially with using a ledger. And this has been a valuable part of my recent budgeting, and I think this is something that I will continue to do no matter what tracking system I decide to do, or journaling, budgeting, however you want to call it. But I know that the ledger book is going to play a huge role in how I continue my budgeting. I mean, I'm so proud of myself. I mean, consistency has never been my forte, so I am just happy. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of take a look at what we're doing now. For right now, this is where we're housing our budget journal. I am using a traveler size notebook. Compared to the first notebook that I used back in 2023 when I first started my channel, you can see how I kind of reverted back to going to a craft notebook style in a sense, so that I can decorate it the way that I want to. And it's interesting, it's interesting how we kind of go back to things that make us happy. And when I look back at my original journal, it kind of makes me think, wow, I'm so glad that I kept track, because it helps me kind of go back and see what we've done. So here's what the inside of my current budget journal is. Of course, I started with my Q4 goals, a review of Q3. Here was October. What my goals were, what my plans are, how I'm keeping track of my debt. If I keep going in, you'll see how I do my paycheck trackers. You can see how this looks. I like it. I love the aesthetic of it. And currently this is where all my feelings are as far as how I want to keep track of my budget. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love everything here. Here you can see my November calendar. I need to update it actually, because this whole week is done and I need to update that. And here are the paycheck dates for November. And I'm getting ready, of course, to do our debt progress and show where we're at with that. Even though it hasn't been the focus this month, it still should be updated because we still have been making the minimum payments on these things. And so I want to make sure that I keep track of that. And then I need to do the November budget closeout once we get paid on the 19th. And then I still have enough in here to finish out for December. So I'm happy. I really am enjoying using this, and it can only really house about 3 months worth of budgeting in here. So if I do plan to continue doing this, then I would need to make sure that I would plan it for each of the quarters if I decide to go this route. Now let's take a look at how it all began. So here is the first budget notebook that I used. It is a moleskin. If you can take a look here, it is embossed here at the bottom. It's a moleskin, it's craft notebook. You can see where I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to share. I had multiple sinking funds that I was using. This was, of course, when I first started, so it's not as detailed as I am now. I wrote down what happened. This is when I needed to get my tires changed out, had to put it on of course credit, and then we needed to figure out a plan on how we were going to pay it. And so I started to get a little bit more detailed. I kept track of the tires, and then we were able to pay them in full. It was awesome. I was excited about that. And then I wanted to get more into bringing my journaling aesthetic back, like decorating. That is something that I absolutely love. I wrote down my why. I remember being asked what my why was by April Budgets, and I remember getting very emotional about it. And the reason why was because my children had wanted me to buy them something, not even something big, but they wanted me to buy something for them. And I had to tell them no because we didn't have the money for it. And, you know, I just remember it was a bunch of bad habits. I still have some of my bad habits, but I know I'm being more consistent with what I'm trying to take care of and manage. I'm monitoring my spending, which I never did before. I am trying to understand that these challenges will come up, and I just need to know how to maneuver around them, which I have been able to do a little bit better. And of course, the last thing was to give myself grace. So I'm excited about how I can come back to this. And I remember talking with Clarissa from Coffee and Budgets, and she's like, you need to keep that journal on your desk and make sure that you always go back to it and remember where you started. And I'm like, girl, don't make me get emotional. She was so right. And that's why I still have this journal. It's because of her. So thanks, Clarissa. Because I look back at it and I'm like, man, I know that I also think like simpler times, you know, I didn't have as much debt, or I didn't share as much about my debt. But the thing was also is that I was taking care of so many sinking funds, and it was a little difficult. I remember I had lots of binders. Oh my gosh. And that's where I was housing the money. But then I found myself having to take from those, and we weren't really in a place where I could be saving. And so many things. But yeah, so, I mean, I love looking back at this. Oh, here was a savings challenge that I did for December. I love it. And, you know, I tried to fulfill using this whole thing. I tried to go into different budgeting methods, sharing with you all kind of the things that I went through to try to find the things that would help me. And then there's just a few pages left in there. But yeah, so this was my very, very first budgeting journal, getting into it. And then jump into 2024. This is where I started it. I started my keeping track in here, and I really brought out my journaling stuff, and I kind of miss this a little bit. I really do miss it. I think I tried to do it again, but it didn't follow through because I wasn't feeling as successful with it as I did when I did it in the beginning of 2024. And I was following the bullet journal method. I was following, you know, keeping an index. I was tracking everything. And this really brought me joy. Seeing this and kind of revisiting it again brings me joy, because I really felt like I was on top of things. Even if I wasn't, it made me feel like I was. And then here, you know, what my intentions were, what my outcome was for my intentions. And it's so good to kind of come back to this. This, of course, is an Erin Condren dot grid notebook. And you can get it for like maybe anywhere between $15 to $20, depending on when they have sales. I really do love the dot grid because it allows me to kind of bring in my own creativity. And this one, I was feeling like a floral galaxy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was a floral galaxy feel that I had. And I absolutely loved it. And I was keeping track of my YouTube, those who were here following me. And if you have been here with me since the beginning, I want to say thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. And even though I change my mind, or I change things, or maybe I'm not doing things that I plan to do and I don't follow through, but you have stayed with me, and I appreciate that. And I'm very tempted to come back into this style, like leaving the simplicity of the smaller notebook and minimal decorations to spending more time into a dot grid and creating a whole monthly setup. What is my monthly log? What are the things that I need to do, keep track of? What am I doing? What are my goals, my thoughts, my moments? And then keeping track weekly. What did I do? What did we buy? What did we spend money on? What events were going on? And I did try to keep track. This I couldn't follow through on. It wasn't working for me, so I had to find another way. But then again, I did have way too many sinking funds. And I know I have reduced that by a lot, and it has been better for me. And I think that that's the thing, is like you have to experiment what you need to go through in order to find your way. And then here you can see my debt confession. Target has always been one of those. Target and Amazon, those two have always been at the top of me needing to bring them down. And I did, but then they go back up. And then I have to bring it back down again. It's like a constant battle. But, you know, I mean, with the way that things are going, I have a new debt confession to bring up to you all. And it'll be coming up soon. I did my reflection page. You can see where I was trying to keep track. I still have the same colors, the same color scheme. I think I just changed, let me see. Dining out is still the same color. Groceries has changed to purple. Gas has changed to blue, but spending is still in green. So I kept two of the colors and I changed the other two. But I absolutely love this. And every time I see it, I go into it. You can see where I did my budget. It brings me good feelings. It really does, but it does take time. You can see where I was trying to do my best to keep track of spending, but I don't think I would keep my tracking in the dot grid notebook. I would continue to use my ledger because I don't have time to create this as much as I'd love to. The ledger that I am using, it's already made in a sense. And I can just go in here, boom, I get it done. And this helps with my busy lifestyle that I have when it comes to work. So here is something a little bit different. And that's why I don't think this portion would be inside if I were to go back to this. However, look at this, my budget check-in or my binder check-in. You see, I had so many binders and it was just difficult. It really was. Here's my debt confession here, and then we would start a new month. Here is February, and then that looks so cool. I need to go back to this, guys. You tell me in the comments, should I go back to it? Look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh, I miss it. I actually miss it. But you can see where I would get busy at work and then I couldn't write anything in here. And it was hard for me to keep track. I couldn't write things. I tried to keep track where money was being spent, but it was just difficult. Yes. Let's go into another month. Let's take a look. Here's March. Here's my monthly log. Here's this, but you could start seeing where I was falling off a little bit and I wasn't keeping track. Let's see. And then I tried something different. I was trying different layouts. And then I printed this out. You can find this on my Ko-Fi. If you wanted to try to use this, you can see where I was still keeping track. I didn't keep track of when we hit these milestones though, which I wish I did, because it would have been great to know. You can see here, that's where we were doing our budgeting, our debt, goals, and then here's April. And here's where I tried to start a new season. I don't really call them seasons anymore. This is when my mom passed away. Oh my gosh, this here. And I definitely had a hard time keeping track with things, how they were going. I really tried, but it's hurting me now. Okay, there's my tracker. Here's May. I didn't make anything for May. I didn't create a opening sheet. I tried to keep that, and then I tried to come back in June, and then that's where it ended, was June. And then of course that was the end of what we could keep track in here. And then I tried again in another dot grid notebook, but it didn't work out as well as this first one. But I wouldn't mind giving it another try and bringing that back. And then for a little bit of the start of 2025, I started trying to see if I could get into using the classic Happy Planner. And I liked it. I liked it for a little while. I liked the fact that I could take pages out and work on them and then put them back in. But it didn't have the same feel as the Erin Condren. So like this here, it just didn't give me the same feelings. I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong. There were moments where I really enjoyed being in here. But it was a little harder to find myself wanting to come back. I kept my this. Yeah, but you could see that it wasn't as successful as when I did the Erin Condren notebook. And then that kind of just leads us. I did like this though. This I always enjoyed coming to. I love it. I love seeing it. I tried to do it every time. I tried to get a good feel for it, but then I wasn't keeping track. And then I feel like these pages get wasted. And that's what I like about the dot grid notebook, is that even if I don't use some of the pages, it's okay because I have to create them and they won't get used until I create them. And so I think that that is an awesome thing, but I still like this. I like this. If I could find a way to put Erin Condren and Happy Planner together in a sense where I can take the calendars and then take the dot grid, that would be awesome. I think I had looked back into it, and Erin Condren had sold their dot grid paper to where you could create it to be disc bound, but I did not find it. I don't think that they do it anymore, so I can't do that. But I don't find myself going back into this style of budgeting. I do like it for planning outside, like my personal self, but not for sharing here. So I don't know. This is where we are. This is where we're at. And I'm looking to see where I'd like to go in the future. I'm not sure where I want to go on this. So if you guys want to leave me a comment and let me know what your thoughts are and what you would like to see on this channel, please make sure to let me know, subscribe, and let's, work this out together. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you.